Hi, this is a video I'm making for the Corvette forum for C6 owners of 2005 to 2009 model year C6 Corvettes, just to show the three different types of sensors that'll work in this car, at least the US spec one. The European spec C6 uses a different frequency tire pressure sensor, sends out its signal to the TPMS computer in the car on a different frequency. So these are the US ones. This is the primary US sensor. It's a gray colored sensor with, if you can see it on there, GM part number 257582220. And these other sensors, I have a couple sets of them here. Interesting thing about these is they were in the very early C6 2005 model, built before about September 2004, and they were also used in the 2004 and 5 XLR, Cadillac XLR. They've been superseded by the gray one and not generally available anymore. These ones I got recently, and they're two different part numbers, but they're virtually identical. You can see they look the same, they perform exactly the same, and I'll show you that here in a minute. Why they have two different part numbers, I don't know, but this one of them is GM part number, if I can get it in focus here for you, 10306573, and the other one that looks almost identical is 10354988. I'll show you the interesting thing about these is that unlike this gray sensor that must be triggered by a TPMS tool, such as my high-end one with a screen here that shows a bunch of info about the sensor, including the battery condition, or almost any TPMS tool, the very simple bar text, and these are a little higher end. KTI PST is exactly the same as this TIPS tool. This TIPS one is still brand new. It's got the sticker on here you remove before using it, but it says TIPS here. It's a TIPS tool, which it says is distributed actually by KTI K-Tool International. But the TIPS tool is a tire inflation, I can't think exactly what it is, tire inflation positioning sensor or some such thing, acronym. But these two tools work exactly the same. Additionally, I've got a magnet here that's used on C5 usually. Some other vehicles, I think maybe some Chrysler or Jeep Chrysler stuff uses it to trigger the sensors. And this U-shape there in the bottom of the TIPS or KTI tool is a magnet, real strong magnet, you can see. And I've also got just a little parts bowl here that has a strong magnet in it as well, used to hold your parts when you're working in the shop, your nuts and bolts. So let me show you some interesting stuff here. I've also got my 2009 C6 here, and I want to show you the main thing is the difference between the gray sensor that must be activated with a tool, TPMS tool, the triggering frequency, 125 kilohertz triggering frequency from a tool. These sensors can be triggered by a tool or by a magnet. And let me show you how that works. Let me go ahead and put the car into the learn mode so I can program the sensors in. First thing we do, of course, is put the ignition into the ACC mode. You'll see the yellow light lit by ACC, the ignition button. And we'll push and hold both the lock and unlock fobs simultaneously till we get a honk of the horn. We have to program in the first sensor within 1 minute. Let me use my tool here. I'll program in a sensor using the high-end OTC 3833. Let me go to diagnostics. There is a procedure that leads you through it as well. This says 2010 to 2011 Corvette. I'm going to change that to 2005 to 2009. Go to Chevrolet Corvette and scroll down to 2005 to 2009. And now I'm ready to trigger any one of these sensors. I'll go ahead and do one of the black ones. I'm going to remove it a little bit here. If I can hold my iPhone and my tire tool and everything all in one hand. Okay, you have to have the tool within about a couple inches of the sensor typically. You're going to hear this thing honk. Okay, push the activate button and it's transmitting. And if we've been within 1 minute of putting it into the learn mode, we should hear a honk here shortly. And I think the learn mode timed out because it didn't honk, but we did get information on the sensor that the battery's okay and the sensor ID number and so on. Let me put the car back into the learn mode. I'll turn the ignition off. Back to ACC. Push and hold the lock and unlock buttons on the fob. Get a honk of the horn. Let me do this a little more quickly here. Okay. Push the activate button on the tool. It's sending out a signal. You can hear we programmed that into the left front tire position. I want to show you with another sensor. I'll put that one down there. That was one of the 1035498 sensors. I'm going to use one of these. Well, I'll use one of these same ones just to show you it works with a magnet. I'm going to stick this thing in here, and this magnet will trigger the sensor. And you can hear the honk of the horn indicating that that sensor was programmed into the tire pressure monitor system computer in the car. That was, again, one of the 4988 sensors. Here's one of the last four of 6573. I'll stick this in a magnet as well. And you can see that one triggered in. I can use a tool as well. Or I can use something like the magnet on the bottom of the tips or KTI tool. I'll trigger another one here with just this parts bowl. Let me just put it over here. Big magnet, fairly strong magnet on the parts bowl. Should hear a double honk on this one, indicating it's the fourth one and the final sensor that's programmed into the car. So the main thing I wanted to show you here was the interesting feature of these early XLR and C6 2005 C6 tire pressure sensors, and they will work in a 2005 to 2009 C6, but they can be triggered by a tool or by a magnet. The problem is they're all getting old now because they haven't been produced by Schrader, who makes our sensors, and they're not in GM stock anymore. So all these ones I've tested, the batteries are all good. One of them's going to my brother-in-law who bought my 2005 coupe, but the other one is available if anybody wants it. Well, I'll try and figure out what kind of price I need to get on it. I'm not going to make any money, just need to recoup my cost in shipping. So if anybody needs a set of these early sensors that you can trigger with a magnet for a 2005 to 2009 C6, let me know. I've also got another one of these 3833 tire tools, and these things are for sale too, the KTI PST and the identical tips tool. If anybody needs one of those for triggering your sensors, let me know.